Hey everybody, Chris here, and welcome to another episode of Mile for the Camera. Today I'm here at Cool Creek with local multi-sport athlete Bobby Granger. He was just recently in Norway in August, for the Norseman Xtreme Triathlon. If you Google this race, it'll be at the top or near the top of all the list of toughest triathlon in the world. So we're gonna do a 1 mile loop and learn a little bit more about that race and how you train for it in Flatland, Indiana here. So ready to give it a go?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Okay, so world's toughest triathlon. What makes this one different than all the other tough triathlons out there?
So the reason that it's called the Norseman Xtreme Triathlon is because of the most likely, or more than often, the conditions in which you race. And so it's quite a bit of elevation gain, total of about 17,000 feet on the day, probably like 11 or 12 on the bike.
Jeez.
And then a flat run until you hit the zombie hill and go up Mount Gasseltoppen, and so then it ends up going about 17,000 feet overall.
So it's like a summit finish.
Yep.
On the run.
And usually it's done in, you know, weather that's mid 50s to 60s, some rain, every couple of years, maybe snow or something on the mountain, that kind of thing.
In August in Norway.
Yeah, you never really know what you're gonna get. It's like late October, early November for central Indiana.
Jeez.
So.
Yeah, that's kind of just those dicey months where you never know.
Exactly.
So 17,000 feet of elevation, like I'm trying to think, locals might know like Louisville, which, that has like, I feel like people's Garmin show different things all the time.
Yeah, I think so.
Like
in
a
relation
few thousand total, like,
yeah.
Like 3 or 4, something like that.
I think the biggest Ironman gain is at Lake Placid.
Okay.
So,
and what is that? Do you know what that?
Like maybe 5 to 6.
Yeah, I mean, so you're talking like
3 times.
Like 3 times
Yeah.
the toughest like domestic Ironman race. That's, that's nuts. And yeah, I mean, we're here at Cool Creek, which I like to run this because it's one of the few places in Hamilton County you can actually get a hill.
Exactly.
How do you train on the bike and run for such a hilly, mountainous course?
The bike was mostly indoors through the winter and even through the summer. A lot of low cadence work, and then the good thing about technology today is you can ride any course in the world almost just by downloading the GPS file. So
okay, smart trainer with resistance that simulates the
I was
hills.
able to kind of ride the course a couple times, or at least a couple of the more difficult hills, just to get some, leg work in to try and simulate as much as possible. But we did some rides and runs down in Brown County and Bloomington area, and then also went over down to Tennessee. Did a couple of those.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, there you can get some good hill work in.
But we spent a lot of time inside and here at Cool Creek to get the work in on the run, kind of still building those muscles to try and simulate the elevation change.
Did you do anything at the same time to attempt to like prepare for crazy weather? Did you deliberately do any like rain runs or anything?
A couple of both, like a lot of cold weather stuff. Obviously here and where we live, it's a lot of times, running in the winter is just kind of part of the par for the course.
Yeah.
And so that was easy. When we were down in Tennessee, we had pretty crappy weather, rain, some ice, that kind of stuff. So we deliberately stayed out on course when some other folks went inside. We were like, well, good Norseman training. I mean, that was probably one of the catchphrases of the year was, it's good Norseman training.
Nice.
So we did a lot of that kind of stuff, or at least as much as possible, and try not to use the weather as an excuse. So, but it ended up being like an 85-degree day, hot, little wind, nothing crazy.
That had to drive the Norseman veterans crazy.
Oh yeah,
like, they were probably
totally
like melting.
Changed the race for them. I mean, that's like desert heat for them,
Yeah.
And it was hot for me too. So we all kind of suffered the same way. But I know I may have been more acclimatized to it than some of the Scandinavian natives over there.
Yeah, with our Indiana summers.
Yeah.
So how early did you get to Norway with the time change? And
So, the race was on Saturday. They're 6 hours ahead of us.
yeah.
So the race was on Saturday. We got into the race town on Tuesday.
Okay, so you had a
we
few
left-
days to
yeah.
get used to it.
We left on Monday, stayed in Oslo on Monday night, and then drove to the start town on Tuesday.
Nice.
So we were there through Tuesday the following week in Norway.
So what was like the single toughest moment of your day?
Folks who are runners will understand this. The proverbial gut bomb that builds. Sometimes when you maybe don't have your nutrition down right, or
Yeah.
your internal clock is a little messed up, time changes.
Yeah.
So about 10K into the run, I had to pretend there's a guardrail here, jump over, hug a tree, and let nature do its thing. After that, I was good.
Nice. Smooth
But-
sailing.
Smooth sailing after that. But I mean, I was feeling good until I hit the run. I kind of knew it.
Yeah.
On the bike, you can kind of feel it.
Yeah,
you don't have that
to-
downward push.
I was gonna say, you don't have the like bouncing
I know.
that you know is coming.
I hope
when
that's
you get
okay
off the
for
bike.
some of the viewers. Might be a little TMI. But
It's okay. I think runners know.
yeah, we all know. We all talk about that stuff.
So then on the flip side, aside from the finish line, because finish lines are always
Oh, yeah.
highlights.
course.
What was a highlight of the day?
So I had three, the finish being the last.
Yeah.
But the coming out of the swim, I swam a 109 for the 1.2 mile or 2.4, whatever it is,
Yeah.
which was a minute faster than my goal and 11 minutes faster than what I was thinking.
Oh my gosh.
So my coach, Sean, he said, "Hey, 109." I was like, "Dude, are you freaking kidding?" Like, I was
he told you
so-
that on the
yeah.
course?
Well, we
found
got out
that?
of transition. He was
Yeah.
there to help, and kind of said, "That was a great swim." So
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "All right."
The one thing they can't make hilly.
I know, right? It's the one thing, it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
And then overall, my favorite part of the day though was the full 112 miles on the bike. Like, you can never find a more difficult course, I don't think, that I'll ever do. And one that was like the most beautiful thing I've ever had the chance to race on and ride on and just enjoy. So I think that was the biggest takeaway on the day, that I was
Yeah. Those
getting to do that there.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that you took it in, because if you just like, nose to the grindstone and
Yeah.
like just spin away, like you'd miss those beautiful views.
Of course,
And
yeah.
Bobby
And then-
had a friend out there who's a filmmaker and
Yeah.
captured some beautiful footage, and they put together a 2-minute video. I'll make sure that that's like in a comment below so
Yeah.
you can check it out, because these views are worth the trip to Norway alone. So yeah, what's on your radar for 2020? Anything crazy?
I don't know about crazy. I don't think anything will top that in terms of crazy.
Yeah.
But I do have a few races. I've got the Triple T in Ohio, which I guess you could count as crazy. It's 4 triathlons in 3 days. And then
Yep.
Mont Tremblant a few weeks after that. And then the only other race that I know I'm going to sign up for right now is the full marathon at Monumental.
Ah,
So-
perfect.
Try and PR all those distances and just really have a good season. Racing a couple times. I really only raced twice last year, so
Well, understandably so.
right, a lot of training. So I'm looking forward to a year that I can just race and have fun and go out and compete.
That's awesome. Well, I think Triple T sounds like an amazing weekend.
It should be fun.
And yeah, Mont Tremblant is just another scenic course and location. So
Yeah.
best of luck on those adventures.
Thanks.
And thank you for doing the mile with me and telling me
course.
a little bit more about your big race from the year.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.